Sorry, my bad.
Hello to everyone out there. We've been asked to put together a quick little video talking about edges and hitting flat. So apologies for the bad audio in this. We've just grabbed a quick camera and lapel and off we go. One of the problems a lot of people have in SCA fighting is using a round piece of rattan. It's very difficult to know whether or not you're hitting with edge. So what you see in the common problems here, particularly in things like wraps, a lot of people throw a cut down, or particularly on the offside, onto their head, they do this sort of thing as they're trying to reach around. If I could borrow Dana for 2 moments. Just there, and go to guard. What you see a lot of people do is they try and throw a cut around here, and in order to get further and further around the shield, that starts to happen. How many times have you seen that? The other thing is you see it often with people throwing wraps like this, or should I say more like that. Now, while that is certainly hitting with the tape, if we can switch around, and you can see that cut is actually landing with tape on, it actually on the blade is coming in flat. So if I switch to an actual sword and I throw that exact same thing, you can see that that is actually coming this way down. If I throw that offside, again, that's going to hit flat. Thank you. On a pel is actually the fastest way to tell this. I really recommend that you get either a waste tool or preferably a real sword. Just steal one off the fences if you haven't got anything. And just practice throwing a couple of those sort of blows. And you'll find that particularly if I throw an offside cut straight, say an ear to ear to 6, that comes in fairly solidly. The minute I try to throw that poorly, you can see what happens to the blade. It just starts to vibrate like no tomorrow. The same is true with the wraps. If I throw a wrap correctly, that's fairly solid. The minute I sort of slap the blade in, you can see that wobble being created. Particularly if I go high, there. You can also see how much that blade wants to come off the target. It's not biting in as it coming straight in. So that's one of the things to really watch for. Making sure that you're always cutting through that blade angle and not just slapping down to make sure the tape hits. Another way of checking yourself is to have a look at the tape on your actual sword, making sure that there's not a lot of damage to that flat part of the blade. And this one's seen a fair bit of use at festival, and there's hardly any marks in here or here. And they tend to pick up because people are throwing this sort of thing. And it's very important that you be aware of your blade, because your opponent has no idea. They're just getting hit with a stick reasonably hard, and you're the one throwing it. It's on your honour and your courtesy to make sure that you're delivering a blow with a sword. That's the difference between hitting a piñata with a stick and actually using a sword properly.